dear. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So, hi guys, by the way.
Oh, them.
Yeah, you, I forgot. I thought of something in between our last little filming and now, and I had that little flub and forgot what I was going to say. And so I was so thinking that I just want to cut it out and, like kind of stitch the video back together somehow and make it look somewhat seamless. But the ironic thing is what our topic of conversation was, and being accepting of ourselves and forgiving ourselves and treating ourselves like a little baby. So we left it in there just to kind of show obviously our authenticity. But Don, what was some of the things you said about I guess it's going back to what we were just talking about, but what you were saying when I said I just want to cut it out.
Well, we're being authentic.
Right.
And part of being authentic was you forgot what you're going to say, and who can identify with that, especially as you get a little bit older,
right?
And then I started talking, and then there it was again, because it will come, and it comes when it's supposed to come.
Right.
So just, I was with a lady who's, her name's Byron Katie, and I consider her an enlightened being.
Love Byron.
And I remember when I first met her, I was traveling with her, and we went to this church up in Tiburon, right across the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, And I was so happy to be with her, and I remember wanting everyone to love her.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets in this big, I guess it was like a Unity church. There must have been 500 people there. And she goes to the pulpit, and she just sits there, and she's looking around. I'm not exaggerating. 4 minutes went by, and she didn't say a word.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is embarrassing, And then she started talking. Then afterwards I said, Katie, what's going on? How come you didn't say anything? And she goes, it didn't arise.
Right.
So when things are supposed to happen, when, the question comes to you. And how many times we forget something, we're like, okay, I can remember, and just let it go.
Well, and I do it often, and I see it with my mom, so I'm thinking I'm kind of heading in that direction, just forgetting the one word I want to say, or if we're talking about a specific place or a person, I just can't remember the name. I've been like that for most of my life, probably. So I just think that, and I think as I've gotten older, and I do it even a little bit more, I am forgiving myself more and more as it happens. The thing is in the moment, I feel embarrassed. And so my cheeks get flushed and all of that. But that goes back to the first video we had about feeling emotions and just allowing ourselves to feel that way. Like if I feel embarrassed, just feel embarrassed. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like it's still spinning. I will wake up tomorrow.
And when you do feel embarrassed, even saying I feel embarrassed takes away a lot of
the power out of it.
Yeah. Because when you're embarrassed and you're thinking I shouldn't be feeling it, then you're just going to screw up again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just let yourself be.
Right. So I just really wanted to touch back on that because it was so perfect how that happened in that video, and I want to be, and the whole idea of teaching from example and what we were talking about. Leading by example. So if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm not going to try to cover that up from you guys. Like what we're trying to preach here, or not preach, but what we're saying is, we have to do the same things for ourselves.
And then you might come to a point where you realize there are no mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And there really isn't. I mean, it's all.
And someday, we talk about forgiving ourselves, and that's a concept which most people like, and most people say that's wonderful to forgive. But there's a point where you'll see there's nothing to forgive.
No.
I mean, and we'll talk about that because, I had to do that with my mom. And then I did the process called the work of Byron Katie. Mm-hmm. And I come to find there was nothing to forgive. She was doing what she knew to do.
Right.
So it's nice to forgive, and some people, well, I'll forgive them, like somehow you have the ability to forgive someone.
Right.
When that person who hurt you was probably just being themselves, doing what they knew to do.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that, because even if it's even where you were abused when you're younger,
mm-hmm.
and people hit you, or people yell at you, and it's like there's nothing to forgive. And imagine taking that concept to yourself. There's nothing to forgive in you.
And I'm writing down that we're going to talk about forgiving and forgiveness, but really quick, touching on that, forgiving is not for the person that you're forgiving. Forgiving is for yourself. Forgiveness is for the person doing the forgiving. And a lot of people don't realize that. You're not doing someone a favor by forgiving them. You're doing yourself a favor by forgiving anybody. And the biggest person that we need to forgive is ourselves. So that's something that you can kind of sleep on tonight.
I agree. I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, you don't forgive your little child for throwing up on you.
Right.
So at some point, as these talks go on, you're going to see that there's nothing to forgive.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, but in this world, hearing the word forgive, people like to hear that.
Right. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just liking to hear it. I just think,
Like, I'm a big person, I forgive you.
right.
You know, and then it's like, oh my God, there was nothing to forgive.
So maybe without forgiving, we just have to love ourselves
And
and
let
love
people
others.
be.
Yeah, let everyone be. And so that's kind of the whole mantra of what we're doing here and why we want to speak to you and why we want to share with you. And, you know, just to throw it out there, and we're going to always kind of make a point to say this is all our opinion. We're not trying to tell anybody how to live or what to do, or this is just what's worked for us over the years and how we've gotten to this place of maybe not full enlightenment, but we're definitely more enlightened than we've been most of our lives. So we just want to share like our joy of life and the things that work for us. So thanks for watching. If you have comments, again, you can just leave them right below. If you have questions, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And if you found us through our website, that's great. And share us on Facebook and share the website. And spreading the love is always appreciated. So
Good job.
thanks, Don. Love you. Bye, guys.